Welcome back to Creator-Based Software Training Center. Let us understand what is the objective of exception handling. So till now we have learned what is an exception. Okay. Now we need to understand why we need to handle the exception. So to understand that, let's get started. It is highly recommended to handle exceptions, and the main objective of exception handling is graceful termination of the program. We don't want the program to be terminated abnormally, right? So we want to terminate the program with the normal flow. It should go with the normal flow. It should not get terminated abnormally. So the main intention or the main objective behind the exception handling is to graceful gracefully terminate the program or make the program go smoothly. Okay, instead of terminating the entire program from there from where the exception got encountered. Instead of doing that, instead of facing that kind of circumstances, all we intend to do is to make the exception go in a graceful way, or a graceful termination of the program is recommended, right? So let's understand with this an example. Understand this with an example. Okay, we are working with database. Let us suppose we are working with a database. So when we are working with databases, okay, a lot of retrieving the data would be going on. So before retrieving, we need to open the database connection. So first we'll open the database connection, then we read the data. After reading the data, we will close the database connection, right? What if suppose while reading the data, let us assume we got some SQL exception, then the program will be terminated there itself. Here is the problem. If the program gets terminated while reading data, then who is going to close the database connection? That's the point. If this happens several times, since the database connections are not closed, others cannot access the database. The resources will be of no use. Say suppose there are 10 members are using, and 10 members have opened the database connection and they started reading, and all of them got some SQL exception, and all the connections are open, and some 11th or 12th or 14th or 15th person want to access the database. They seem to be open, and they cannot use the database. So the resources, even though the database is available, since the connection is still open, it's not closed, the other persons will not be able to use. So if an exception occurs, first close the database connection and then stop the program. That is what is intended, right? uh, if you are going through some exception, the database connection should be available for the others to access instead of keeping that connection open. Because of exception, we should not miss anything, or we should not block any resource. That's what I'm trying to say. The resources should not be blocked. We should make the resource available to the others, right? It should not be blocked by ourselves, right? It should be available for all those who intend to use it. So exception handling is all about providing alternative way to continue with the rest of the program normally. So even though an exception comes, even though we encounter with some exception, we should be able to provide some alternative way so that the rest of the program will go normally. Example, our program requirement is to read data from e-pictures as discussed earlier. At runtime, if data from e-pictures is not available, our program should not be terminated abnormally. That's what we want to handle an exception, right? That is what is the motive, or that is what is the objective of exception handling. We have to provide some alternative file to continue with rest of the program normally. This way of defining alternative is nothing but exception handling. Let us see this try catch program. In the try, we want to read a file from e-pictures folder. Supposing if that particular file is not available in the e-pictures folder, it would obviously throw a file not found exception. It will come to catch. Okay, so here we are providing an alternative file which is available in F folder. Okay, we can access the same file from the F drive. This way we can handle the exception. There are several other ways we can discuss in the future, but the main intention is to define an alternative way. It's nothing but an exception handling. Let us revise. The main objective of exception handling is graceful termination of the program. Thank you guys.